Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Hanan, and I am from Unit 3, Punjab Institute of Neurosciences from Lahore, and I'm currently under the supervision of Professor Asif Bashir. Today, I'm going to present the endoscopic removal of colloid cysts over 2-year experience. So, colloid cysts basically are their benign epithelium-lined cysts that are almost always arise in the anterior third ventricle. There are almost 1% of all intracranial tumors and the 2% of primary brain tumors and 15 to 20% of the total intraventricular tumors. So the colloid cysts, they are located at the level of the foramen of Monro and the third ventricle. They can be attached to the roof or the floor or the choroid plexus. So the histology consists of pseudostratified columnar or cuboidal epithelium. So we have multiple treatment options. So we can either go conservatively if the cyst size is small and there is no associated ventriculomegaly, and then if the cyst size is large and there is associated ventriculomegaly, and if the patient is young, we should go for the surgical approach. We have different surgical approaches. We can have a microscopic approaches in which we can either go transclosal or transcortical, and we can then go for endoscopic aspiration, or we can do stereotactic aspiration. So our objective was to assess the feasibility and the outcome of using an endoscope approach for the management of the colloid cyst. So this was a retrospective case series which was done for the 2 years from January 2019 to the January 2021, and total 11 patients who were presented to our department in Punjab Institute of Neurosciences we have included in this study. So there were 7 male and 4 female, and the mean age were 35, and we used the standard LOTA endoscope in every patient, which we include in this study. So 36% were female and the 64% were male. Sorry for this. So for the symptoms, the majority of the patients were having intermittent headache. With some of the patients were having the combination of 2 or 3 symptoms, which can be either drop attacks or a visual disturbance and vomiting and disturbed mentation. So every size of our cyst was 14 mm, and 8 of patients were having hydrocephalus on the CT scan. So the entry point of our colloid cyst excision was 8 centimeter from the supraorbital range and 6 centimeter lateral to the midline. We visualize the choroid plexus and vasculature, and then we visualize the cyst, and then we go on for the coagulation of the choroid plexus. So then we did the dissection of the capsule, and we evacuate the contents with the rotatory movements for the removal of the colloid cyst. So this is the pre-op image of a patient which we did removal. So you can see the endoscopic view, and here you can see the vasculature, septal vein, striate veins, and this is the choroid plexus for which we are now coagulating. So now, after that, we have used a sharp dissection with a Caesar, and for the evacuation of the contents, we will use a cannula to drain the contents of the colloid cyst. So after the removal of all the contents inside, we will go for the capsule, and then with the rotatory movements, we will excise the capsule of the colloid cyst. So after the removal, there was some bleeding in the end, which was cleared out by the continuous irrigation. So both the foramen of Monroe are clear, and then we have removed the endoscope after clearing out all the bleeding. So we did a complete partial excision in 9 patients, while 2 of the patients we did a partial excision, and in terms of improvement of symptoms, all the symptoms of the patients improved post-operatively, while one patient did not, who have a visual deterioration, did not improve after surgery. There was no associated morbidity. So the graphs are not showing. So okay, so 83% were having total or near total excision, while 91% of our patients have improved clinically. So this was a patient who has having a pre-op image of the colloid cyst and after removal. This is another patient who's having a pre-op image of colloid cyst and after removal. So another large colloid cyst patient, and this is a post-op image after the removal. So why endoscopy is preferred as
1 minute, please.
Why endoscopy is preferred as compared to the standard microsurgical approach? So basically, colloid cysts obstruct the foramen of Monroe, and after the obstruction, it will lead to lateral ventricular enlargement. So this enlargement will actually create a sufficient space for endoscopy. And also the cystic nature of the colloid cyst and the clear cannula will help us to evacuate the contents in our clear visual. It will help us to clearly visualize the contents, and also there is less morbidity, which is having a higher morbidity with the standard microsurgical approach. So in the end, for our conclusion, there is endoscopic excision of the colloid cyst is a safe, a minimally invasive approach. It is an effective treatment for the colloid cyst of third ventricle, and there is a good optical resolution and high magnification. So there is a decreased hospital stay, more rapid and return to active life, and there is a low direct surgical morbidity. But it requires a longer learning curve, and the bleeding can lead to a visual blurring of the field, which can be a problematic in the surgery. Thank you.
Thank you.